Okay, last question. If, Will, this is directed to you. If 70% of businesses should not tweet, which ones would you recommend should?
Those whose audience is on Twitter. But I mean, if your audience is on Twitter, you should do it. The things that seem to do the best on Twitter are businesses that have specials or events that they want to publish in near real time. I see a lot of this happening on Facebook as well, but it's not as sort of steady stream. I think that lifestyle and boutique retail do okay on Twitter. Food venues do pretty well on Twitter. I've seen some really interesting case studies on Twitter baiting, in fact, by some. New York has a bunch of interesting food trucks, including one which is the Big Gay Ice Cream Truck. And so what they'll do is they'll go and they'll park their rainbow-covered ice cream truck. I think it's pink with rainbows. And they'll go park it in front of a popular restaurant. And then what they'll do is they'll do what a friend of mine refers to as Twitter baiting, and they'll be adding that restaurant's name and trying to get them to engage with the people who are engaged with them. But at some level, this is not really about the medium; it's about PR, right? So what they're doing is they're engaging in a collaborative marketing effort. It just so happens that Twitter is the medium.
Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I think the main takeaway from all three of us was that measurement piece, right? So, I mean, if you might be in that 70%, you might be in the 30%, just test it, right? So, I mean, you get data real time.
Well, and you can, I mean, just like, if you have personal interactions with your customers, you can email those, send out an email with a 3 radio button or 3 checkbox poll on it that says, which of these do you use on a daily basis, right? And it could be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever.
So here's my question to you, because every time you say that, because I've heard you say that a number of times, I cringe. Because you don't define on Twitter, because there's different ways to be on Twitter. I've been on Twitter, literally my Twitter account, if you look at the dates, was created 17 days after Twitter created its own Twitter account. And so I've been on since the beginning. And I never post on Twitter. I might have, in all those years, I might have 1,000, 1,300 posts on Twitter. But I've spent a lot of time cultivating who I follow, and I use it as a news gathering tool. And if you're a business, there is no reason not to be on there to cultivate a list of people in your market, in your space, either customers, suppliers, other people that would have information about what you do, and follow them on Twitter and get news, get information on a daily basis what's happening in your market.
If it's a natural behavior for you to do that, sure. I mean, I'm just saying that it's not like my problem is that it's like trying to drink from a fire hose sometimes. Not Twitter itself, but the many avenues available to us to gather information, whatever, is like drinking from a fire hose. You can get those same links on Facebook. Oftentimes, if they're coming from people that you work with, they're going to email them to you. And the problem is, for me, for most businesses, and as a person who runs a small business, I feel this very intimately. I don't have time. I don't have time for all of this. And if the behavior of Twitter is not natural to me, in whatever that means.
But you're on Twitter all the time.
Then it's.
Okay, gentlemen. Okay, Daniel, you get the last word. Anything you want to say on anything today?
I hope they don't fire me.
Okay. All right, just a little bit of house cleaning. First of all, if you want a copy of all the presentations, just go to al.com/mediakit. After about 5 o'clock today, it'll be taken care of. Once again, charter business played a big role.